Good morning, a very good morning to everyone that is joining our event today. I'm very glad to see everyone here today. So, thank you for joining our Get Hybrid Ready for the Future of Work with Google Workspace. And today, I will be your trainer, or speaking today. I'll be your speaker and also slash trainer. So, my name is Kingston, and very glad to see everyone here today. So without further ado, let's begin today's session. And today's session will be, let me just pull out a slide for everyone to have a look. So yes, today will be the hybrid ready for the future of work with Google Workspace. And today's agenda will be starting off with Gmail, Google Drive, Google Docs, Google Chat and Meet, and then we'll move on to a short case study from our recent customer, Kuku, and at the end we'll have a Q&A session. So I won't take too much of your time today, but we will just be having a short session from a beginning of 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. So yeah. And today's session, it will be mainly on how we can actually use Google Workspace to actually follow out new norms of this at the end of our pandemic. So everything is, trying to get back to normal. Businesses are trying to get back to the offices, more physical, day-to-day, work instead of having everything, working from home or virtual. We are starting to move forward into the future where we can try to get everything back to normal, where everything is more full force. So yeah, so without further ado, I'd like to share my screen, and I'll just show you on how we can actually use Google Workspace. So the first things first that we want to do is to get into our Gmail account. And this is roughly how the interface would look like. So we'll start off with Gmail, and at the top right corner will be your account. So currently I'm using a demo account, hence why it's called training at my.g-asiapac.com. And right next to it we have the logo of your company. So if you are in a company that actually uses Gmail, or Google Workspace, you'll be able to see that, the logo over here. And if you're not into Google yet, this is roughly how it would look like if you are logging into your work account. So next to it we have is the 9 dots, which are basically called Google Apps. And if you click on it, you will be able to find all the applications within the entire, system, Gmail system. And we have first is Gmail, we have Google Drive, Calendar, Meet, Forms, Google Docs, and so on. So Google Workspace has all these applications at the fingertips, at your own fingertips over here, and you feel, you can definitely just click and drag them however you want. And you'll be able to just customize it accordingly. If you're using Google Sheets on a daily basis, you can just drag them and put it onto the top, so it will be easier for you to access it on a daily basis. And maybe if you're using Google Chat a lot too, you could just drag that up and put it on top. And so for Calendar too, yeah. So this is where you access all your applications, and it will be over here, the 9 dots, Google Apps. Right next to it we have is settings. So we have the gear, and I think I'll cover settings later, but I'll just show you around how the interface would normally look like. And I think the support here is mainly on like how you're able to actually seek for help for support for the IT people, IT help desk if you're lost with any sort of IT things, or have issues. So next to it we have is your basically the button where it actually shows you whether you're active or you're not. So basically it's like a status update. So you can actually set it automatic. So if you're actually working, it will be green and it will be based on the activity that you're doing. Second is do not disturb. So if you turn that on, basically anybody that messages you or any emails coming through, it will basically mute out all your notifications. And third is basically you set away and people won't know that you're online. And you can even add a status, so that would be just some extra things that you can actually do. So now let's head over to the left side, the far left corner. We can see our icon Gmail here. If you click on it, it will be basically refreshed and it will bring you to your inbox. And next to it, we have 3 lines where we can actually open and close your main menu. So you can see it collapses, yeah, and it opens up. So the main menu will be your best best buddy to actually customize on how you want to view your entire Gmail interface. And if we open it up, we also have our inboxes where all our email flows through. Second, we have our start emails. So basically, if you start an email, it's just like how you would start a WhatsApp chat, you will be able to see that it's start. And if you go to the start label here, you will see that the email has been started too. Going back to our inbox, for each individual emails, you can select your email, start your email, label it as important too, and you can actually do that over here in your settings, and I can show you how to do that later. But for each individual email, we also have customizations where we can actually archive them. So if you're running out of space, running on low space on your Gmail, you can actually archive your email and you'll be able to find them in your all mail label. And you can actually see that if you click more or less here, you can open it up. And if you scroll a bit down, you'll be able to see all mail here. So you'll be able to find all your archive emails in all mail. Nowhere else though, only in the all mail. Other than that, we also can delete each individual emails. We also can mark as read or unread for each individual email. And let's say this email is very important to me, I can also click snooze. What I can do is that I can choose a specific time that Google has suggested to me to remind me of this email. And if not, I can just click date and time and choose a specific date for it to remind for me. So yeah, Google will be able to help me to do that. So I can actually choose on the 30th of March at 9 AM. I click save. I can go back to snooze over here, the label, and click on my email again and see that it's been snoozed at the 30th of March at 9 AM. So what happens is that 30th of March at 9 AM, what happens is that Google will then prompt a notification for me to have a look at my email that I've snoozed. So it's basically a great tool to remind you to check on your emails, that you might have missed out and you don't want to. So you can actually always set snooze for each individual email. So yeah. And then following to snooze, the next label we have is sent. So for your sent emails, will be all here. I think it's very straightforward. And drafts, where you draft all the emails and it will be shown over here. If you scroll a little bit more downwards, you'll be able to see all the important emails over here. Your scheduled emails will be here. Your all mail, spam emails, and your trash can, which is your bin. So to be noted that any sort of emails that you deleted, that is more than 30 days, will be automatically flushed out of your trash can. So Google will actually do that. So you can see here messages that have been more than 30 days will be deleted automatically. So make sure that you don't delete any important emails, and if you have so, make sure that it's before 30 days, because Google will just flush it out for you, because Google likes to help you clean your bin, make sure it's all tidy and it doesn't clutter. So if you scroll down a little bit more, we have categories. We have a few categories that we can choose from, which is social, updates, and forums. Well, these kind of categories actually just falls in place on what kind of emails they are, and it will be basically flowed into the emails that are according to, you know, the categories that they have. So if you scroll a little bit more downwards, we have manage labels, and this is where you can find a shortcut to manage all your labels that you have over here. And I also can create a new label, so I can actually click that over here, and a pop-up will come up, and I can actually click a new label, and I can set this as a test demo, and I can click create. What happens is that you'll be able to see that my label will be created, and I should be able to see it somewhere here. Alright, there we go. So test demo is my new label. For each individual labels, you'll be able to click three dots, and you can actually recolor them over here. So I can choose like it's green, turquoise, and you'll be able to see that the color has changed, and it'll be more vibrant for all your labels, and you'll be able to differentiate them more easily. Yeah. So without further ado, let's move on to settings. So if you click on settings over here, you can see that we have the quick settings on how we can actually alter, our interface for our Gmail. And you can see that we have the density. Well, it's default. So for default, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that I have the emails that I can see over here in my inbox, and I can see our attachments. And our attachments is basically video and document here. And if I actually click comfortable, I won't be able to see my attachments anymore, but I'll still be able to see it by distinguishing it by having a paperclip. So you can see that above my cursor, my mouse, there's a small little paperclip, and that is how you differentiate your emails, whether it has attachment to it or not. And that is just the density view of the difference between default and comfortable. Last but not least, we have is compact, where you can see that it is very compact. So it is an eyesore, and I don't think it's very good for our eyesight, and it is just basically very kind of packed up together. So maybe we can set it at comfortable, where everything's more comfortable, and we can then move on to our daily tasks. And to move on, we also have themes, so we can choose different themes on how we want to choose our background to be, and we can always choose a different one from time to time. Following then, we also have our inbox type, so we can actually set it as whether it's priority or not, or you can set it as default, where the most recent emails would flow into your inbox, and that's how it would work at default. So earlier it was in priority, so you can set as a priority, and you can actually customize on how your priority inbox would be. So if you don't want that, if you want it to be based on how or when it was, then you can actually go back and you can set that as a priority inbox. If not, you can just go back to default and set it as the most recent email based on its time frame will then flow through your inbox. And scrolling down, we also have something called the reading pane, where it is basically the version where you can actually view your emails at the same time. Have a small pop-up of your email. So just in case of how it would look like, it would look like something like this. Yeah. So we have from left to right and from top to bottom. So if you don't like that, you can always click no split, and it will be back to normal, where you actually just open up an email, and it will be an entire view. So now going back down, we have last but not least for our settings, we have is our conversation view. So our conversation view is groups of emails of the same topic together. So let's say if we have an email thread that has multiple replies to it, it will be all grouped up, and it will have something like this with a number 4 over here. And that is how you would use your conversation view. If you don't like that, if you like every single email to be flowed into your inbox without, you know, having it clashing with the group, you can always turn that off, and every single reply from a same email thread will then be in that, there will be each individual email flowing through your inbox, even though it is grouped up together or not grouped up together in a single email thread. So if you don't like that, you know, the group thing, you can always just turn that off. And what happens is that it will need to refresh for you. So yep, that is all for our Gmail. And now I think we'll just quickly hop into our Google Drive. So for Google Drive, this is how it looks like, and it always will be basically over here, where you can actually see, and you go back to your inbox, you can see that it will be over here, and you will be able to find it in your Google Apps. So you can actually click on your drive, and it will bring you to pop up just like this. So there we go. So now on our drive, we can actually set as priority. So we can see that for priority, you can see where's the most recent open documents. So, and we can see you know, that we also have our drive, basically my drive, your own drive, where you can see all your documents in, whether it could be a single you know, document, or folders that you can, you know, choose from. You can always right click and create a new folder, and you can always test it, rename it as demo test. So just an example. So when that's done, you can actually see that the folder has been created. You can click on it, and you will be able to view your folder. It's currently empty because it's new, so you can always just right click, and you can always click in you know, file upload, or you can just drag and drop a document from your desktop or your laptop, and it will be added into your drive. So for our shared drives, it is a little bit different, but I think only certain companies that would subscribe to a higher plan will have that. So maybe I will cover that today. But we shall move on with shared with me. So you can see that if shared with me, there are basically documents that has been shared with you, and you will be able to distinguish them whether they are your own documents or someone's that has been shared, you know, the document to you. And if you actually see at the bottom here, if you go a little bit lower, we have our recent documents. So any sort of recent documents that you've opened up or look at will be shown in your recent, and you can see all of it here. And next we have a start, where it is basically the same, where you can start you know, a folder or a specific document in your drive, just like how I would start an email earlier, and or start a WhatsApp chat will be shown over here. And last but not least, for the bin, the same thing as Gmail. If you delete any documents, Google will then delete it automatically after 30 days. So please do take note on that, and you know, hopefully you don't delete anything important. And the last but not least, at the bottom here, you can see is your storage, and you can click on it, and you can see you know, how much storage has been used on your specific account. So currently this account has not been using up a lot of space, so there is so much space left. So we only have, actually we only used 2.8 GB, and we have so much more to use. Yep. So if you don't see there's a cap for it, it means that it is it's unlimited. So currently for this account, we have an unlimited cap of storage, and we can just keep on storing more and more documents in the future. And for each document that we stored inside the Google Drive, you can see also that how much space it takes up. So as you can see, all these videos, it does take up space. So you can see how much storage has been taken up. But for documents such as like the Google documents, such as Google Sheets or Google Docs, it does not take up any space at all. So if you're wondering why, as you can see, it's just 0 bytes here. It's because Google would definitely love to encourage you to use Google Documents, and it will not take up any space. So basically, it encourages you to just keep on using Google Docs the Google documents, yeah, Google format documents, if to be specific. However, like other documents such as PDFs, images, videos, other sort of format like PNG or JPEG or AI, you know, all that kind of different formats, it basically takes up space. So you can't run away from that. But you know, even for Microsoft documents will do take up space. So it's the same, just like Excel, PowerPoint, or you know, so on, will then take up space. So yeah, so it's always best to use Google format documents if you're using Google Workspace. So yeah, there we go. Um, Other than that, I think that's all for Google Drive. So now let's speed over to Google Docs. So you just click on your 9 dots again, your Google Apps, and you'll be able to find your Google Docs. And you can actually click on that, and you'll be able to find that your interface looks something like this. So currently there is not much documents in this, only just one, but not to worry. I'll still show you guys on how we can actually use Google Docs. So first things first, this is the interface. You can always search your documents over here. You can minimize and maximize the side of your main menu. You can see there's a template gallery before you start a document. You can always click on that, and there will be an option for you to choose a template from your domain. So my company is G-AsiaPacific, and so I can choose a template for my domain. But currently nobody has submitted any sort of templates. So if you guys ever get onto Google Workspace, excuse me, you can actually submit your own template after you create them, and you can then select them just by one click, and you'll be able to select them in the near future too. So you just have to submit in, and you can actually just toggle over here. So if you don't want to, because sometimes it's handy for certain proposals where there's a certain format for your company, you can always do that. So if not, you can always go to general, and you can choose different templates that you can choose from. So we have so many different type of templates that Google has suggested for all of us to use, whether it could be a project proposal, a brochure, you know, a training proposal, a quotation, you know, a letter, business letter, resume, and so on. So there's so much to choose from, and you know, you can guys always play around, you know, which kind of template that is most suitable for, you know, what you're trying to create. But instead of creating, choosing a template today, I think I'm just gonna go back and I'm gonna select this document called Cats Are My Jam. So we can actually see that within this document, there is just very simple plain text that you can see, and I think I'm going to do some sort of adjustments to it so you guys can see how you can actually use Google Docs. So the first thing that I want to do is that I want to like change the title. So instead of Cat is my jam, I think it should be Cats are my jam. Right, I think that's a better ring to it. And I think we're going to select it, make it bold. Let's change the color to purple. And we can always change the fonts over here. So you can see there's a lot of fonts to choose from. And if it's not enough for you, you can always click more fonts. And you can actually see that if you scroll down, there's so many fonts to choose from. If it's not enough, you can just keep scrolling, and I can show you that it keeps going on and on, as you can see. So there's so many fonts to choose from. But not to worry, I'm just going to choose a very simple font here, maybe semi-bold, yeah. And you can see that I have changed it already. So perfect. So I'm going to make it a little bit more bigger, and looks good now, yeah. So next, maybe I would want to actually set out a table of contents. So let's say I don't know where to find the table of contents, you know, to insert it into my Google Docs. Well, not to worry, I can always go to help over here, the tool, and I can click, you know, table of contents, you know, type it out, table of. So you can see that actually it suggests us, you know, that you can insert a table of contents into your Google Docs. So I can actually just click on that, and automatically it has been, you know, created. And so I'm just gonna put the title below it, and you can see that now it is on top, and the tables of content has been implemented. So that's fantastic. So for every single Google document that you need help with, you can actually help yourself by just clicking help and typing in certain sort of commands or things that you want to add in your document. You can always click help and just type that in. So it's really, really helpful and simple. And let's see if I would change maybe cat's behavior in general. Let's change it to dog's behavior in general. And what happens is that you see the table of contents is not updated yet, but not to worry. You can see there's a small little button over here. You can see update table of contents. If you click on it, you can see now the word has been changed to dogs. So yeah, it's pretty cool that that even the table will be updated, but you have to manually do it because sometimes Google doesn't know whether you want to preview the same thing or not. But not to worry, that is one of the great features that we have in Google, which we have the help button. Now moving forward, we have on the far right bottom corner, we have something called Explore. So Explore is your best friend, and you can actually click on it, and you can see that you can actually search for keywords within your document, where you can search for cats. And I can show you guys that if I click cats and I select them, we have something called the web over here, and basically your entire Google search web will be into your Google Docs. So I think that's really cool. So you can search off any sort of links or info that you want to look for the specific keyword. And also we have images, so we can actually just click, drag and drop, and an image will be shown in our document. So this is the fastest way to insert an image compared back into the olden days where we have to open up a new Google tab, search for a specific image, download it, drag it, put it into a Google Doc. So now with the Explore feature, you can actually just drag and drop images and just paste it into your Google Docs. So it's very fast, simple and efficient. So with that being said, I think your Explore feature will be one of the best tools that you can actually use into your Google Docs. So for Google Docs, we also can share our documents to specific people. So we can actually click this big button here, we can click share, and we can share to multiple people or more. And we can always just click and type in their email address, and you can see that automatically it will be clicked, and you can actually send a message to them. Say, hi, Angeline, please have a look at this doc. Thank you. So then I can actually click to send, and what happens is that you then receive an email to open up this document. But I won't send that because she's already in the document. So that is how you would share a document with your colleagues. So yeah. So other than Google Docs, I think we can move on to Google Chat and Google Meet, and I will show you guys on how we can actually use them. So we can go back to our inbox again, and we can actually go to Google Apps and you click your Google Meet. But for in this case, currently I am doing a call with you guys. You can see me that I'm currently in this call. So with this call being said, that this is how the interface would look like. And normally on your far left bottom corner over here, you should be able to see the title of your video call. However, there's no title for this calls because as you guys can see that it is me just having a test. So right now on the far right corner, you can see that there is also a few buttons that you choose from. So you can choose the first button over here, which is the eye. You can click on it. It's called meeting details. So you can see how you would be able to join a meeting. There are 3 ways to join a meeting. The first way is to join via URL code, and you can actually just highlight this and copy and paste, or you can even click the button over here, copy joining info, and you should be able to copy paste that into Google Meet chat or your colleagues in email. And next we have is a dial-in. So we can actually see that within the dial, you'll be able to actually call and join the meeting. But however, this is mainly for the US. And if you do use it, you will be charged. So I don't think that's a great idea. And last but not least, to join, you can actually see that there is a PIN code for you to join. And you can actually, send via SMS, and you can actually join the call if you are experiencing some sort of difficulty trying to connect to the internet. Yeah, SMS totally works too. So you can actually click the close button here, and now we move on to the people icon. So if you click on that, you can see who is in the call, and currently there is only me. And you can always just add people in over here by typing their name or clicking their email address, and you should be able to send an email to them, or a notification will then pop up and they will be able to join. You can also search for people if there's a lot of people in the call, and you can always click the pin button to pin your screen, which screen that you are currently interested, or if someone's presenting like a speaker, you can always pin them to your screen, and then you'll be able to view it in a bigger picture. Moving forward, we also have chat, so you can actually chat with everyone here, and you'll be able to just type messages like "Hi everyone," and just casually chat with everyone if your mic is not working. And if we move on, we have something called activities, and we have a few options that we could choose here, such as breakout rooms. So breakout rooms, it basically breaks out multiple people in a call to small different groups, and you have a timer for it too. So if I click on it, you will be able to see. So I can actually see that I can set up a breakout rooms. So you can set up to as many rooms as you want, and you can also set as a timer on how long the breakout rooms will be. And you can also click shuffle to shuffle the amount of people. You can also rename the breakout rooms. So I think it's really cool that you can actually use this when we're trying to have a meeting, like a discussion, or to brainstorm any sort of activities that we're trying to do, or meetings. So you can actually use breakout rooms. We also have polls, where we can do polls as how you would start a poll, ask a question, put in a few options. People can just click on it. It would be a really quick way to also to have another brainstorm on maybe like titles, or what kind of event we want to do, or when is the dates. We can always have polls, and people can just vote on them. And we also have Q&A, where we can actually ask questions, and we can also, as the host of the call, I can actually choose where to allocate the questions, whether it be the top 5 questions out of maybe 30 questions that I should be answering, or you can actually just just hold them or hold on to them, and you can keep track on what were all the questions asked throughout the whole entire session. So going back to it, we also have recording, where we can actually click on it and we can record our entire session. So but for that's only for specific tiers of the subscription. So it's not for everyone, but it'll be a great tool for meetings that we're trying to record, or sessions or training sessions that we're trying to record, and then you want to like play back to your your workers or your colleagues or your boss to show them that what they have missed out. And last but not least, we have is whiteboarding, where basically you can open up a virtual whiteboard and you can start drawing on your whiteboard, like maybe drawing a graph or chart to showcase your presentation that you're presenting during your meeting. So yeah, and going to the middle here, we have controls such as turn off your microphone, turn on your microphone, turn on and off your microphone, turn on and off your camera. We also have captions. So captions is a really cool tool where you can see that I will be talking, and there will be basically the captions showing up on my screen. So it's a great way to actually to show that you're presenting, and maybe if the person can't hear your voice, they will still be able to read your screen. If they're all in a big meeting room, and they can actually just view from the huge screen on the meeting room. So yep, that's how captions work, and you can choose them to be in English or in different languages such as French, German, Portuguese, Spanish. But I think we're all more familiar with just with English at the moment, so I'm just going to turn the captions off. And we also have raise hand, where we can actually raise our hands, and we can actually see over here that someone has raised a hand, and you can lower your hand also. So basically, it gives them the attention to the person currently in the meeting that's talking to, maybe voice out some sort of opinions, or say something before they actually interrupt them. And we also have present, where we can present our entire screen, and you can actually choose whether you want to present your entire screen, a window, or specific tab. Last but not least, we also have something called settings, where we also can click on it and choose the audio, the video, and the captions on the languages, on how we want to control our settings when we join our video call. And we also can see that they can change the layout, full screen, apply some visual effects like currently how I'm applying it. And I think that is all for Google Meet. Last but not least, let's go back to our inbox. We also have chat, where you can actually click to start a chat over here, and you can just type in the person's name and you will be able to chat with them. So I think it's very straightforward, and you can always say like, hi, how are you? And you can always click this arrow button here, and you can add emojis, GIFs, upload documents, even have a quick video call. So that is another way to join a video call for them. And that's how you use chats. So bear in mind that chats is that every time you want to speak to someone in chat, you would need to actually, how to say, send them a request and an invite, and they will accept it, and then you will be able to um, you know chat with you. So it's just a one-time thing. And you also can see down here, you'll be able to join meetings, where you can create a new meeting from scratch over here, or you can view your current meetings on a daily basis. So I think without further ado, I have one last thing to show you guys. So it is our infographic. So recently we have our client, Cuckoo, that actually got on board with us, and I think it was very successful. So we also have a very nice case study on how Cuckoo got into using Google Workspace, and how we actually see the challenges that they were struggling, and how Google Workspace really helped them solve their issues. Yeah. So there's a very nice testimonial also from Mr. To Seng Lee, basically their CCO of Google. And yep, I think that is all for our session today. So if you guys are interested to view a more clear view of our case study for Cuckoo, do head over to our website, or just email us. We'll be able to share a copy with you. Yeah. And last but not least, before I end today's session, is that will have some Q&A, and thank you for joining us. So we'll be here. Thank you very much.